Hello, my name is Kalani, and this is my quick tutorial on some exercises and stretches that I, in my experience, have learned to do. Now, a little disclaimer, I have a dance background in color guard. I am not trained to teach these kind of things. This is just my own personal way of learning how to do these specific exercises and moves. So I would recommend researching them more on your own to find what works best for your body. This is just what I've learned in my own personal experience. And today I will be going over nerve flossing, nerve tension, and then some hamstring stretches / exercises. Now I'm going to start with my own personal experience with having nerve tension above my hamstrings and below it. And to start, I will explain how if I stand with my legs completely straight and I lock my knees, which means I have my legs fully straight when I'm standing up. In my own personal experience doing this for years and not knowing better, I feel tension here. So this sits between my actual hamstring muscle here and my calves, and I feel the nerve tension in my sciatic nerve. Now your sciatic nerve runs from your big toe to the back of your calves, all the way back under your hamstrings, through your glutes, and then to your spine and your lower back. So if there's any nerve tension in that sciatic nerve, that can cause the muscles to not activate in the correct way that we want to, right? So think of it like a gate that we have to unlock to get to the muscle groups, because the nerves are tiny little fibers that send signals to your brain that sit in between the muscles. So specifically with the hamstrings, if you're stretching and you feel a lot of tension and you feel like you just can't get into these positions, that might be because of nerve tension. I will have to research that myself more. I'm still learning more about that, but that's just what I've learned so far. So let's get into this concept of nerve flossing. So nerve flossing can help you calm your nerves down. It can help tell the nerves, hey, it's okay to go this far. And we can then go to the muscle groups to actually stretch them. So for this exercise, first what we're going to do is we're going to stand completely straight and we're going to lock our knees. Now, I want you to observe the tension that you might feel. For me, I feel tension in that same area because I have not warmed up yet, mind you. And I feel the tension just because I'm not relaxed. My body feels tense, and it's telling my brain saying, okay, this is not a safe position to go to, so we want to calm that down. So in this straight up and down position, I want you to put your hands on your hips, and I want you to slightly bend your knees forward. So you're going to bend your knees first, and then you're going to put your hands on your hips, and then you're going to keep your butt in line with your upper back. So keep your back completely straight, like if there was a board on your back between your upper and your lower back. You don't want to collapse. And then you're going to bend and then hinge forward. Now I want you to do the same thing. Stand completely straight up, lock your knees, and then just unlock them. Now relax just a little bit. I want you to do the same thing. Have your knees and legs straight but not tense. Now we're in this relaxed position. We're going to do the same thing. You can even put your hands like this. We're going to hinge forward. And this is my personal stopping point here. Now, I'm not a very flexible person when it comes to my hamstrings or anything in my lower region of my legs. So this might be helpful for people that are like me who don't have that natural flexibility / mobility. Now, okay, back to this. This is where I go with my legs straight and my back straight. Now go back to sit up and down. We're going to bend our knees more. Again, bend our knees again and hinge forward. And then I can go lower. So if I straighten my legs, I will revisit that tension concept again. My legs straight, it could be my hamstring and the nerves as well. My body is telling itself, okay, it's not safe to go here. So with the first nerve flossing exercise I'm going to do, nerve flossing, we're going to tell the nerves, hey, it's okay to go into this position, which was hinging forward. We're going to do the same thing, put your hands on your hips, or have it so that your upper body is stacked. We're going to point our left foot. So let's just try that. Point, we're going to go back and alternate and point the right foot. and then again, and then again. Now, we're going to add the hinge of the hips with each alternative, like position. So left and right. So I'm going to hinge forward, and I'm going to point my left at the same time. When I switch, I'm going to hinge up again and then go down again. And when you go left and right, you want to think about pushing just a little more into one leg. And since we're focusing on one leg at a time, that's less nerve tension that you'll feel because it's one less leg to worry for your nerves to worry about. So we're going back and forth here. And for this, you want to focus on breathing. You also want to focus on how this tension might feel in your body. Now, you don't want to focus on speed. This is to help your nerves calm down. So when we think calm, we think slower. So when we think slower, we think also breathing. Breathing will help calm your nervous system down because it will help you get more grounded. It's your own body, and to focus on it rather than focus on anything else that might be bothering you. So breathe between. Do as many of these as you feel comfortable. You want to feel the tension go away from your body as you alternate. So now that we've done this, remember, hinge at the hips, alternate and point. And when you point your foot, you want to think about going on the ball of your toe. So you want to think about going into your big toe. And you can even experiment with that. So if we hinge forward here, and instead of just going to your big toe, because that's honestly painful for me if I stretch it a lot, you can go into that hinge and you can just rotate your leg. So rotate the leg that's pointed and down. While keeping my right bent, I think about pointing and hinging forward. Now, this helps me because I'm not going straight up and down in a straight line. It always helps when you're doing exercises that are very symmetrical to kind of play around with going in any sort of direction because our bodies are made for that, right? So with here, I could even just completely ditch the whole up and down thing. And I can think about, okay, if I were to just bend my knees, hinge my hips back, or send my hips back, hinge forward, what could I do here that helps my legs feel good? Because we're so used to doing exercises and only exercises that we forget that our body can move more than just straight up and down or left to right. We can move it in circles. So when it comes to warming up, like I said, I didn't warm up earlier, so that's how I was feeling so much nerve tension, right? Because I haven't warmed up yet. When I warm up, instead of doing like just the nerve flossing, that was just an example of something you could do, I like to just let loose so we can go back to that bending of the legs, put my arms up, just really ground myself. I can do some slight body rolls, just get your body moving in a way that feels good. It's better to have your body feel good than to force yourself into these positions that don't make your body feel good and make it tense up. So with that specifically, the bending of the legs, you can start with that. Bend both legs and just roll the spine. And this helps me because when I bend my legs like this, it feels good. Because I'm not just locking my knees all the time, trying to like do moves that don't feel good. This feels good. So you want to find moves that feel good for your body. And I find doing this feels really good. Now, so my legs are forward, right? My feet are pointing towards the camera, which is you. We can experiment with the same thing, but with my legs spread apart. Now, we could even do the same thing pointed in, but my knees are turned in, and this is internal hip rotation, so this feels a little less natural, right? So if I were to have my feet together, spread farther than shoulder width apart, this is called the second position in dance. You want to think about, you can go down and up, keep my spine stacked. And this helps me because I'm engaging my legs in a way, and hips, this also makes me feel it in my hips as well. You just want to try to engage and relax as well. Relax, not collapse, into these positions that feel good. And you also want to breathe. You want to be able to have a release of the breath so that you release all the tension from your legs or anything that might be giving you tension or pain. Now, pain's a different story, but this is something that can help with discomfort. And when you're stretching with anything, you don't want to push past pain. You don't want to push past pain at all. You only want to experiment with discomfort. Do not push past discomfort into pain. Stretching should feel good. Stretching shouldn't hurt. Stretching should not be a punishment. It should be something that you can explore your body in. And yes, it's still similar to working out, and it can be working out. It just depends on the way you go about it with the culture of how you stretch, your routine, your technique, all of that. All those different things play into the results that you want to get. The progress you want to make is defined by how you approach these things. So we do things that feel good. You can even go left, right. At my upper body, I was going up straight just because it helps me align myself. But I can even play with just going side to side like this. We're just really feeling my breath to calm it down. Or breathing through my nose. Experiment through breathing out through my mouth and my nose. So I can breathe in through my nose. Out through my nose. In through my nose. Out through my mouth. You can experiment with your breath as well. There's a lot of certain breathing techniques that I would like to explore myself. Breath is very important with anything, and specifically exercising. It can make or break an exercise quality. Especially that also goes into tension, right? The idea of tension and your breath. If you're holding your breath while doing anything, your body will tense up. So I'll focus on breathing and a research into that. It will be helpful not for me, but for you guys. That's just where I currently stand on that. So this next exercise, or not exercise, but the nerve flossing movement that I will show you will actually be on the ground. So if that was too hard for you, even hinging at the hips, if that's too hard for you, which it is kind of difficult for me, we can do it on the ground. So I will get on the ground. Okay, so we're on the ground. With this, I like to have one leg bent because if I straighten my legs, even in this ground position, that can kind of feel tensey, right? You can feel kind of tense with that. So we'll have our opposite leg on the ground. We're going to lift one leg bent, and you're going to have your foot flex. So that means that you're going to have it relaxed. You're going to have your hands, you're going to have them under, grabbing at your hamstring. So with this, you don't want to be tugging it, but you want to have it enough to pull just a little bit. And think about less of pulling, but supporting, right? So you support your leg here. And what you're going to do is you're going to stretch just a little more until you feel like your body doesn't want to go anymore. And you're going to go point and then flex. So you're going to point it so that your leg with your foot goes forward. So you're engaging your point of your foot and then engages the calf. You can see your calf flexing and then relaxing. You could even go in circles if you would like to. Now, once you feel good with that, do a good amount of those. You can take a rest and come back to this. Or if you feel comfortable enough, you can use your hands, press against your thigh and supporting it to push yourself closer to your abdomen. So you want to push with your hamstring, or your hands on your hamstring. You want to push your leg closer, and you're going to want to do the same thing. Making sure that you're breathing, and with each circle, up and down motion, wherever, just draw circles, draw lines with your foot. You should feel some engagement that feels good. So once you press closer, you can focus on pointing and straightening your leg more. So this is also just a good general exercise. A lot of dancers love to stretch their hamstrings like this, but this is a very extreme position for me because it's basically doing a split, right? So that's why I'm having my leg bent for support. I could even keep it not fully straight, but experimenting with how my body feels between having my leg fully straight, if I would have it here, and if I want to go more up with my leg, that will engage more of the hip motion, the hip region here, right? So supporting and pressing with my hands, pressing against myself, and then I can slowly straighten. But when I straighten, I don't have to fully straighten here. If I want to straighten, I can go fully out, but drop my whole leg entirely to straighten it. So you want to just explore going through these ranges of motion And you could even just ditch the whole toe thing and then just have your foot move around in circles. Remember, ditching the symmetrical line thing, because our bodies are made to go in positions more than just up and down, right? So, pressing against the floor, you can go up and down and up and down so that your body feels comfortable in these positions. Now, it might feel, if you're not used to going into these positions and moving so much, you might feel some, not tension, but your muscles working, which is completely normal. It shouldn't feel painful. Remember, just don't push past pain. Okay, so I'm going to go over 2 more things. I'm going to go over kicking, things like kicking in the air with hamstring flexibility, and I'm going to go into working up the skills like the splits. Now, let's start with kicking. If I kick forward like this, and if I could develop it into it like that, doing movements and skills like that not only require hamstring strength or flexibility, but they also require you to look at things like your hips, your glutes, and how you're engaging all the way through your toes. That's kind of like a dancer standpoint, but doing these kicks, even if you're not a dancer, can help with your mobility, right? With your hamstrings, with your hips, anything that is around your legs, all the way to your feet. So with these kicks, for this, you're going to want to either put your hands on your hips, or I like to have my hands out, not fully like hyperextended, but just relaxed out so I can hold my balance. You're gonna have one foot back. So right now I have my left foot back. And then you're gonna focus on, when you go into this kick, you don't wanna think about like straightening your leg. All right, back to that attention thing. If your nerves aren't ready for that, it might be a good idea to slightly soften and bend so that your leg looks kind of like this in a bent position. Enough to still be engaged though as you go into the kick. So I'm standing relaxed, straight up and down right now. And when I go into the kick, I'm going to bend just a little bit and then have my left come up. Now, when you do this, whichever leg comes up, you don't want to like have that hip come out of line. You could do that, but that really depends on how you're pushing the exercise. Right now, we're trying to keep it in line. So we're going to kick forward and then down. Forward and down. I want to talk about approaching skills like the splits, and how that has to do with your flexibility, right? I mostly want to talk about like your hip position, your leg position, and the concept of having your hips turned in and turned out with your legs. So we're going to start with our classic side split. So this is a middle split where you go down all the way to the ground like this. And now your side split is going to the side. Now your leg might be forward, but since I'm facing forward, I'm going to have my leg go to the side. So I personally don't have my splits, but if I try to go into it, not warmed up. It looks like I'm doing a split, but this is not proportional to my body. So I guess I could do it here in this position, right? So when most people go into their split and they're fully sitting into their split, they're not engaging their hips. So what I mean by that is when I stretch and I bring my leg back and I only focus on stretching my hip here, I feel it in this right here. So when you go into your split, you basically just want to square your hips. Now squaring your hips means that you're not leaning away from the line of where your front leg is. So if I have my leg lined up here, I don't want to sit into the left or to the right side. Now, you could technically take advantage of that, and specifically in this position, you can go here. You can sit here just to kind of explore that range of motion. But when you're going into a split specifically, it's not incorrect to not square your hips, but if you want to get the most maximum amount of efficient stretching and alignment with your split, you want to be able to make sure that you're squaring and keeping your lines straight all the way to the back of your back foot. So with this, you don't want to do this because I technically could do this. This is called, in dance terminology, it's called a jazz split, which means that my back leg is bent because I'm sitting on basically my tailbone now. So people that are more flexible with their back leg, with their hip, tend to do this. Now this is just a little exaggerated because I'm not actually in this position right now, but if you want to get the most out of it, right now my leg is pointed, which means that my toes are on the ground, and that helps me focus on my hips. But if you want to get a deeper stretch, not specifically, this is also to help engage your muscles. You will want to be able to go into this, and now my back leg is flexed. So you want to just hold this position here, making sure that my hips are square. You should feel some engagement here with this hip flexor. So you hold this, you can have your arms out, you can have your hand here, and this helps you stay in line so that you're focused specifically on this, because with most people that can't hit their full splits, if you were to sit down on the floor, and if you can sit like this, then your hamstrings are most likely not what's holding you back from getting the specific split skill. It might just be your hip going into this, right? So this is what it is personally for me. So it helps to have this mastered here. So feeling that strength and lengthening of that hip flexor, and having yourself go from a flexed foot to pointing your foot so that it's on the ground, and you're focusing now on going back and forth. So let's talk about going back and forth here. I have my forward leg bent, and I want to focus on pushing into it, but I can also go back. And if your leg feels tense, remember that nerve tension here. Keep your leg bent, don't try to straighten it. And remember, keep your hips square. So we're gonna go back here, and once I go back, what helps me, since I can't fully go in line into this position comfortably, I like to do that thing of just allowing my body, giving my body space to feel comfortable. So I'm going into this comfortable range of motion that isn't fully like going straight back. I do that idea of sitting into my hips, but I do it intentionally so I can feel comfortable in this position. Now, with this, I also recommend getting some knee pads or being on somewhere that's soft, like a foam pad or yoga block, and going back and forth, back, forth. Now, you want to do that slowly. I'm doing it kind of fast right now to show myself going back and forth, but remember, do it slow and comfortably rather than fast and with tension. So really pay attention to how your fibers and your nerves and your muscles and how all those groups are engaging. And you want to be able to feel good in these larger ranges of motion. That's good for now. I have a lot to watch. Oh my goodness.